What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Giants. I'm your host, Anthony Rovardo, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different in today's episode of Fireside Giants. So we're going to start this thing off, and we're going to talk about the Giants pass rush, why this Giants team could lead the league in sacks this year. We're going to talk about Abdul Carter. We're going to go ahead and talk about Dexter Lawrence, Sexy Dexy. We're going to talk about Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns. We're going to talk about this defensive line and this pass rushing unit, but then we're going to go ahead and dive through some bold predictions that I have for the New York Giants this season. We're going to play the music. We're going to get intense. We're going to shout, and we're going to have some fun. But I do want to start this thing off with a conversation about the Giants pass rush, because I was scrolling through some Giants articles this morning, and I saw over on NFL.com that Abdul Carter was already named to the preseason all-rookie team, predicted to make the all-rookie team by the end of the 2025 season, which is a no-brainer. He was the first defensive player drafted this year, went number 3 overall to the Giants, had 12 sacks in his final collegiate season, led the NCAA with 24 tackles for loss. We all know Abdul Carter is a phenom, but how great can he be? And with him being such a great impact addition as a rookie, just how high is the ceiling for this New York Giants defense? Well, that's kind of what I want to go ahead and dive into and just go through the defensive linemen that the Giants have, the pass rushers that they have up front, and talk about my expectations for this unit and why I think this is going to be an elite pass rush. And before we dive into this elite pass rush, let's harken back to the elite pass rushes of the past for the New York Giants. I mean, if you're a Giants fan, you know that this team has been built on pass rushing football, right? Elite defenses have always been the identity of the New York Giants. But over the last several years, the Giants kind of lost their identity. They didn't have that elite pass rush. They didn't have that menacing defense that was a staple of the Super Bowl champion teams from the 80s. In the early 90s, they had one as well. In the 2000s and 2010s, whenever the Giants have been on those championship pedigree runs, they've had an elite pass rush and an elite suffocating defense. That really hasn't been present. Last year, I thought the defense was particularly lackluster. The pass rush during the first half of the season was great. Dexter Lawrence got injured and kind of things fell apart there. Also, Kayvon Thibodeau was a little bit banged up dealing with injuries. Brian Burns played through injuries, but nevertheless was still hurt. So overall, in the second half of the year, the defense kind of faltered in the pass rushing department, but really the secondary was a mess. We're going to talk about that in a little while. And the run defense was poor all season long. But now, with all the upgrades that the Giants made in the secondary, with Javon Holland, Paulson Adebo, with the upgrades that they made on the defensive line, Darius Alexander, let's not forget about him, the third-round pick out of Toledo, and of course, Abdul Carter. The defense on paper looks like it should be a top 10 unit. And that's not just a bias that Giants fans hold. I can confirm that nationally people are feeling that way. At Fanatics Fest this past weekend, I did sit down and I watched the Rich Eisen show. If you guys are regular viewers of Fireside Giants, you know I'm a huge fan of the Rich Eisen show. I don't miss a single day of the Rich Eisen show. I listen to that man every single day. So when I got to actually see him do an episode of Rich Eisen show in person during Fanatics Fest, well, first and foremost, I was quite giddy. I was very excited and I had a great time witnessing that. But also, I was very intrigued by the things he had to say about the New York Giants. They did an episode of Overreaction Monday live at Fanatics Fest, and one of the things that they were discussing was the expectations of the New York Giants defense. And Rich Eisen said this should be a top 10 unit this season. He thinks there's a very high chance that that's the case and that not enough people are talking about the Giants. Those are Rich Eisen's words, not mine. Well, you guys know that I am constantly talking about the Giants, and I've constantly been saying this is going to be a top 10 unit, maybe even top 5 unit in the NFL this season. And it's all going to be predicated on that pass rush. What does that great pass rush do for that secondary? Well, the quicker that the quarterback has to get the ball out of his hands, the less time that those defensive backs need to stand firm in coverage. And hey, with the upgrades on the back end of the defense, if the coverage is tight, that's another second that the quarterback has to throw on the ball to wait for somebody to break open. That's another second for Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Dexter Lawrence to get home and get after said quarterback. So this defense on paper really does look like it's going to be a great unit. And that pass rush, as I just said, has such a great effect on the rest of the defense. Is so beneficial to the secondary. But let's go one by one with the individuals in this pass rushing core. I mean, Abdul Carter, like I said, he had 12 sacks last season. He had over 60 total pressures in his final collegiate season, 24 tackles for loss. There's nothing normal about this guy. I mean, he has had such an insane rise in his football playing career from being an off-ball linebacker at Penn State, working his way through the defense, finally emerging in his sophomore season as a full-time starter and as a great player for the defense, then converting in his junior season away from the off-ball linebacker position that he was already so good in to be an edge rusher. And the reason he was able to have such an immediate impact on the edge and become such a phenomenal defensive chess piece for Penn State's defense is the pure athleticism, power, and unteachable traits that this guy has. I mean, when we were doing the recaps for mandatory minicamp and OTAs, we were talking about Abdul Carter nearly every single day. He was getting in the backfield. He was getting would-be sacks. Of course, non-contact practices, no pads, not tackling anybody, so not officially getting a sack, but having a would-be sack by getting in the backfield so quickly. And a lot of fans were like, well, what does that mean? You know, there are no pads. He can't just win with speed all the time. And the point that I wanted to make was this. Abdul Carter might not have a refined gallery of pass rushing moves. He might not have the power and the club down and the rip move and all these other, technical terms that people like to use to describe pass rushing moves for edge rushers. He might not have those things, but he also has barely ever pass rushed, right? He only has one season of edge rusher experience under his belt at the collegiate level. So now you're talking about a guy who is just so insanely, freakishly athletic, and how he's won purely with that athleticism at such a high rate in college to be such a dominant pass rusher, getting that NFL coaching and learning how to add those pass rushing moves to his repertoire and upgrading his game through technical refinement. That's why his ceiling is so high, in fact, is so limitless, because we have seen guys enter the NFL with freakish athleticism that you can't teach. I mean, Abdul Carter might be pound for pound a top 3 athlete at his position in the NFL, and he hasn't even played a down in the league yet, right? Like, he's that special with his athleticism and the traits that he possesses. And that's why the Giants took him 3rd overall. Because now if you teach him how to add some of those pass rushing moves, and you teach him how to set the edge as a run defender, which, guys, he was pretty good as a run defender last year, 24 tackles for loss. That's a run stuffing stat. But if you teach him how to do some of these other things, he's going to be incredibly dominant. And the Giants have one of the best defensive line coaches in the league. I mean, this guy, Andre Patterson, when he took over the Giants defensive line, he immediately looked at Dexter Lawrence and said, this guy is a superstar waiting to break out, and he hasn't been utilized correctly. He refined Dexter Lawrence's technique. He moved him on the defensive line away from the 3-tech position and into the 0, the nose tackle position, changed the way that he plays the game, redefined his position, and sparked a breakout a couple of seasons ago that proved Dexter Lawrence is arguably the number 1 player in the league at his position, and also arguably a top 5 player defensively in the NFL. So they have a great defensive line coach. We might have questions about DC Shane Bowen, but we don't have questions about Andre Patterson. He's spectacular. And so he is going to have the ability to coach Abdul Carter and help him learn those pass rushing moves, combining that with the intangible traits that he has. So a lot to be excited about on this defensive line. And the reason why I think this team could lead the league in sacks is because, first and foremost, they were leading the league in sacks last year for the first 9 weeks of the season. Then Dexter Lawrence, who had 9 sacks, got injured. He already set a career high in sacks last year with 12 games played, I believe. He missed the second half of the season and still had a career high in sacks. He's only been getting better every single year since Andre Patterson took over. And Brian Burns, meanwhile, is a 2-time Pro Bowler who easily has the ability to go for double-digit sacks. Kayvon Thibodeau was banged up last year, only played in 12 games, finished the year with 5.5 sacks, but the year prior, when he was fully healthy, finished with 11.5 sacks. All 3 of those guys, if fully healthy, easily go for double-digit sacks, and then it's up to Abdul Carter as a rookie to see if he can do it as well, and I believe he can, and more on that in a little bit. So I love the potential of this pass rushing group. That's not even mentioning Chauncey Golston, who they added as edge depth, who's a really good pass rusher from a depth standpoint. It's not even discussing Elijah Chapman, who had a few sacks last year as an undrafted rookie free agent. He's got some great pass rushing upside from the interior. Darius Alexander, who the Giants drafted in the 3rd round this year, has phenomenal pass rushing upside. On paper, pound for pound, this is the best pass rushing core in the NFL, in my opinion. And whether that's a bold prediction or not, We're going to get into bold predictions in just a second here, but I truly do believe that this Giants pass rush will lead the league in sacks. They easily could have done it last year. They finished with over 45 sacks last season. This upcoming year, I could see them pushing into the 50s, quite possibly even into the 60s in total sacks because of the amount of talent that they have up front. The only missing key to the puzzle, do we have a defensive coordinator who can maximize this unit? So far, what we saw at OTAs and minicamp, he seems to have a good handle over how to utilize Abdul Carter, moving him from the edge to the interior and all around the defensive line, while making sure to get both Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau on the field with Carter at the same time, because there's strength in numbers here. The more reps that you can get with all three of those guys on the field at the same time, the better. I mean, listen, Trevor Sikkema of Pro Football Focus said it, and I'll take his words and run with them. If Kayvon Thibodeau is the worst pass rusher in your pass rushing department, that's an elite pass rush. And I completely agree with that sentiment because Kayvon Thibodeau is a good pass rusher. Is he the elite number 5 overall pick that the Giants hoped for when they drafted him there? Perhaps he's not the dominant player that they wanted, but he's still a good player. And on top of that, he is the 4th best pass rusher in this group. So that's how you know they really do have an elite unit forming. And so I do believe this can be the best pass rush in the NFL this season. And honestly, guys, it makes me so excited because we've watched a lot of bad Giants football over the last few years. And we've talked a lot about, man, I wish the Giants were good like they were in 2011, like they were in 2007-8, even hell, like they were in 2022, like they were in 2016. Those teams were monumentally better than the team that we saw this past season. We always think back on the past. I know a lot of Giants fans do, at least. And while we're looking ahead to the future, absolutely, you can learn a lot from the past. History will repeat itself, and the Giants loading up these pass rushers and making this defense better, you have to hope and you have to see the vision where possibly this defense could repeat itself, be among the best in the NFL, have one of the best pass rushing cores in the league, and ultimately lead to a lot of success for the New York Giants. So that's my take on it. I'm really excited to go ahead and see this pass rush unit form and obviously continue to talk about it here on the channel, especially with the guests that we have upcoming, as we mentioned in yesterday's live stream. If you missed that, go check the replay. But I do want to transition here now, not just talking about the Giants pass rush. I've got some more notes on that, and we're going to dive into it. But I want to do some bold predictions and talk about some expectations that I have, loftier expectations for the Giants this year, and have a little bit of fun. But before I do, I want to take a quick break and show you guys something that's really exciting, that is kind of a big announcement for the channel that I want to present to you all. And that's going to be the fact that I am part of the experiences over at the Bezara Music Festival in September. Now, if you were in yesterday's live stream, you heard about this. I did show it off to everybody as an early preview for those of you who were in the live stream. But the first weekend of the league, September 5th and 6th, that would be when the New York Giants are kicking off their season against the Washington Commanders. You all will have the opportunity to hang out with both myself and Chris, the entertainer. Stand up! I know you guys love Chris. I love Chris. He's so much fun to talk Giants with. I do Giants Collective with him, and I can't wait to do this, the Giants Fan Ultimate Experience, Fireside Giants and the Entertainer talking sports live at the Bezara Music Festival. It'll be September 6th and September 7th over in Keensburg Beach, New Jersey. It's a really great lineup of bands as well. If you're into music festivals, there's a lot of great different bands there. The Ataris is pretty good, and quite a few others. It's a Saturday, Sunday thing. On Saturday, as you can see in the description here, we'll be doing a live show. Chris and I will be doing a live show from the music festival. You guys can get some GA Plus tickets. Use code BIGBLUE at checkout for a 15% discount, and you'll be able to come by, hang out with us, watch us do an episode, a live stream of Fireside Giants in person. And then on Sunday, if you're interested in attending that as well, we're going to be doing a live game watch at the Beach Gallery, which is just a short walk away from the music festival. We're going to watch the Giants week 1 matchup all together in a restaurant, have some beers and have a good time, and then walk over to the music festival together afterwards for another live video stream. It's going to be a great time. I'm super excited for it. It's going to be a blast, guys. And I'm hopeful that some of you are able to make it out. You can get tickets at bezarafestival.com/fireside-giants. I can't wait to see you all there. I'm really excited for this and really hopeful that many of you are able to pull up and attend and watch some Giants with me and talk some Giants with me. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk about Russell Wilson. We're going to talk about Malik Nabers and this elite pass rush. It's going to be a great time. So make sure you do Go check that out down below. And now back into this episode. Let's do some bold predictions. All right, guys, bold prediction time. I got 5 New York Giants bold predictions for you all. Let's cue the music, make this intense, and let's get going with it, guys. If you like my sunglasses, I don't. They're kind of crappy, but my girlfriend Brooke has my much cooler sunglasses, but they look way better on her. So shout out to her, and let's have some fun here and go over these bold predictions. You ready for it? Let's do it. Number 1, bold prediction. The New York Giants will lead the league in sacks this season. Now, we already talked about this. I broke it down, but I've got a bonus bold prediction attached to this. Abdul Carter is going to break the New York Giants rookie sack record, unofficially held by Lawrence Taylor, 9.5 total sacks in 1982. I believe that Abdul Carter, with all the pass rushing talent surrounding him and all the talent that he possesses himself, is going to have double-digit sacks this season. You look at the way he plays, you look at the athleticism he possesses, and you look at players that he's similar to. Micah Parsons, when he came out of Penn State for the Dallas Cowboys, instantly burst onto the scene with double-digit sacks. I think we're going to see the exact same thing from Abdul Carter, and I think that Darth Carter, if you will, is going to have double-digit sacks this season and etch himself into the history books for the New York Giants, putting himself ahead of the GOAT, Lawrence Taylor, ahead of Michael Strahan, ahead of Azeez Ojulari, who actually has the official record at 8.5 sacks because they don't count Lawrence Taylor's unofficial record. But I believe that after 2025 season concludes, Abdul Carter will be the new rookie single sack season record holder for the New York Giants. And that's bold prediction number 1. But bold prediction number 2, this one I'm really excited about. Malik Nabers was so good last season. He had 109 receptions, which is the record for most single-season receptions by a rookie wide receiver. Now, receptions was broken by Brock Bowers last season, but he's a tight end. So for a wide receiver, count it. Malik Nabers owns the record, most receptions as a rookie. He'll have more this season. He'll also have more yards. He had 1,205 last year. He had 7 touchdowns. He's going to up both of those. Bold prediction is Malik Nabers will win the Triple Crown this season. That's right. Just like Ja'Marr Chase did last season, the Cincinnati Bengals all-pro wide receiver from LSU as well, Ja'Marr Chase led the league in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. Malik Nabers was able to put up 109 receptions, 1,200 yards, and 7 touchdowns with a quarterback room that featured Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, Tommy DeVito, and Tim Boyle. Yeah, I think this season, with Russell Wilson as his quarterback, we are going to see an uptick in those statistics, and I truly do believe, pound for pound, talent-wise, Malik Nabers is one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver in the NFL, top 3 at least. So I think he's going to go for the Triple Crown. I think he's going to put up over 1,600 receiving yards. He's definitely going to have double-digit receptions. I think he's going to have like 120 receptions this season. So bunch of touchdowns, bunch of yards, Triple Crown for Malik Nabers incoming. Giants offense is going to be way better this upcoming season. But how about that Giants defense? Let's get back to it. We talked about the pass rush. We talked about the way that pass rush is going to help the secondary. Bold prediction number 3, the Giants will force twice as many interceptions this season as they did last year. At least twice as many. Now, to be fair, the Giants only forced 5 interceptions last season. They ranked 31st in the NFL last year. That was completely inexcusable. It was terrible. This Giants defense was abysmal last year at forcing turnovers. But this season, with those pass rushers up front, with the improvements in the secondary, they're going to get more interceptions this year. Abdul Carter is going to disrupt quarterbacks. That ball is going to float in the middle of the field, and boom, all of a sudden, Javon Holland has an interception. Brian Burns is screaming off the edge, blindside hit on Dak Prescott. He throws a missile, picked off by Drew Phillips over from the slot cornerback position. I mean, you look at the secondary, Paulson Adebo is a great ball skills cornerback, always gets his head turned around, knows how to intercept the football. Javon Holland knows how to get his hands on the football. Those are the 2 upgrades that the Giants made, and they're going to have a trickle-down effect. Javon Holland is going to have his leadership and his ability in the secondary to make Tyler Nubin a better player in the second season of his career. And hey, Dane Belton, the standout of the spring, he has a nose for the football. He already has like 9 or 10 forced turnovers in 3 seasons in his career, and he's barely even played it down for the Giants. So those 3 in the safety room, they're going to force some turnovers. But like I said, Paulson Adebo finally having a Giants cornerback who can get his head turned around and get his hands on some footballs, Giants are going to get interceptions as a result. And I do think his presence is going to have a positive impact on the likes of Deonte Banks, or if Cordell Flott ends up winning that job, him as well, and Drew Phillips. You guys know how high we are over here on Fireside Giants. about Drew Phillips. That kid is an absolute star in the making entering the second season of his career. So I can't wait to see this Giants secondary go to work. Also, guys, the T-Dex shirt, go get it at the ESM shop. This thing is so cool. I'm looking at myself. I look stupid with these glasses, but I do look cool in this t-shirt. You can too, so go get one at EmpireSportsMedia.com. Bold prediction number 4. You ready for it? The Giants are going to have 2 1,000-yard receivers this season. Yeah, that's right. I just made the bold prediction that Malik Nabers is going to go for the Triple Crown. He might lead the league in receiving yards, according to my bold prediction. But you know what? Let's get this music back going. I don't think that he's going to be the only one with 1,000 yards. The Giants' quarterback room is so much better this season. No longer are they going to have quarterbacks too afraid to throw the ball more than 10 yards downfield. They got Russell Wilson, the best deep passing quarterback of the last 20 years in the NFL. I mean, he is one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, a future Hall of Famer. He's going to drop some dimes downfield. Malik Nabers is going to benefit from that, but so is Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton had 780 yards just 2 seasons ago when Tyrod Taylor stepped in the lineup and actually dropped some balls and threw the ball downfield. Yeah, that was a pun, and it was a good one as well. He could throw the ball downfield. Russell Wilson does it even better. Darius Slayton going long and putting up some big yards and some touchdowns. I think Slayton is going to go for 1,000 yards this season and make that new contract extension that he signed this offseason look more than worth it. 3 years, $36 million. That's $12 million per season for Darius Slayton, who's never cracked 1,000 receiving yards. Well, this year, he's going to do it. And I think that because Malik Nabers is going to be so dominant this year with the Triple Crown in tow, with almost 2,000 yards on the way, because Nabers is going to be so special, it's going to free things up. One-on-one opportunities and easy, big downfield yardage plays for Darius Slayton, who's going to be alone on the other side of the field. And then it's just up to Russell Wilson to drop it in the bucket. And the point that I'll make on these 2 receiver bold predictions before I get to the 5th and final bold prediction, I don't care who the quarterback is for the New York Giants this season, if it's Russell Wilson, if it's Jameis Winston, or it's Jackson Dart. Malik Nabers is going to get fed. It's going to be a gluttony, okay? He is going to eat this season because Russell Wilson can put the ball on the money downfield. Jameis Winston, I mean, you guys have seen Jameis Winston play football, right? If he's in the lineup, he might go for 5,000 yards, albeit with 40 interceptions somehow, but he's going to push that ball downfield, and he's going to create opportunities for our guy, Malik Nabers, and, of course, for Darius Slayton, who is the second part of that bold prediction. So, and hey, I didn't even mention Jackson Dart. You guys know how high I am on him. He throws a beautiful deep ball as well. He could push the ball downfield, and he will also maximize these wide receivers. Essentially, my point is, last year, the Giants receivers had a bunch of receptions, not a lot of yards. It's because they had some quarterbacks that refused to throw the ball downfield. That entire quarterback room is gone, with the exception of Tommy DeVito. Shout out to Tommy Cutlets. But he's not going to be playing this season. That entire quarterback room is gone. This new quarterback room, all of them just push the ball downfield. They all love to throw the ball 20-plus yards downfield. Russell Wilson does it better than anybody. And you know what? Jameis Winston does it pretty good as well. And Jackson Dart has the potential to be something special, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many of you as well. So, hey, these receivers are going to break out, and it's going to be because of this revamped quarterback room that is super aggressive. Love the aggression in this quarterback room. Let's go to the 5th and final bold prediction for the New York Giants this season. And I don't know how bold this one is, but honestly, if you look around the national media, not a lot of people are high on the Giants. I mean, they finish in the final 5 in nearly every single power rankings. I think ESPN actually had them dead last in recent power rankings, which is despicable. I mean, come on. Do you see the New Orleans Saints? That roster is an absolute disaster class. The Giants are not going to be the worst team in the league. In fact, the bold prediction is they are not going to finish last in the NFC East this season. Look at the upgrades to that defense. Look at the upgrades on the offensive side of the ball at the quarterback position. You cannot tell me that this is a dead last in the division team this season. That's right. The Giants are going to win more games than the Dallas Cowboys this year. Okay? And we are going to finally beat the Dallas Cowboys this year. And in fact, I think we're going to split games not only with the Washington Commanders this year, but that's right. I think we're going to steal one from Snake Quan and the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think we're going to split with them too. I think the Giants have a good chance of finishing at least second in this division, at least, the very least, though. I do think they will be third in the NFC East. It will not be another disaster fourth-place finish season in the NFC East for the New York Giants this year. I'm feeling really good, confident, optimistic. As you guys know, I think the Giants could be a playoff team this year, and I'm really looking forward to 2025. It's going to be a fun one, so strap the in. All right, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed that. Got a little bit silly today. I was bored. It's a Wednesday afternoon, and you know what? There's really nothing going on in the NFL right now. Nothing going on with the New York Giants. So figured, hey, let's do something different. let's cue some music, get intense, and treat this like a show. So we put on a show for you. I hope that you did enjoy. But yeah, guys, training camp not for another month. So as I said, over this next month, expect some different kinds of content, like the stupid, silly thing that I just did now. And obviously, if you guys don't like that, don't expect to see it again. But if you did enjoy it, leave some comments down below and let me know if that got you hyped up and fired up for some Giants football that is so far away. But like I said in yesterday's live stream, over the next month, we're going to be bringing on recurring guests. The actual first guest that we have lined up is going to be Brian Walker, D-Backs Academy. He's going to be giving us some great insights as an NFL coach and personal trainer. He's going to be giving us some insights on the Giants secondary this year. He's, of course, if you guys aren't familiar with him, he's been on the channel before. Brian has coached the likes of Xavier McKinney, Darnay Holmes, Jabril Peppers, and a number of other NFL talents as well. And he works with a lot of collegiate athletes making it to the league. So he's a great defensive backs coach and talent evaluator. So he's going to be on the channel. I think I'm going to be recording with him tomorrow. So expect to see that by tomorrow or Friday, definitely before the weekend is up. So really excited to have Brian on. So that's one of the guests on the horizon. I also mentioned to you guys, Marshall from Chat Sports. We're working on getting a collaboration in soon. Alex Day, if you guys follow him on Instagram, he's going to be coming on soon. Chris the Entertainer, like I said, him and I are teaming up for the Bizarre Music Festival, but he's also going to be making an appearance on the channel at some point soon. So just stay tuned. We've got a lot of fun stuff planned over this next month. I don't want you guys tuning out because there's not a lot going on. Giants football is in a break period, but Fireside Giants is not in a break period. And if anything, we might ramp it up. Just make extra content, more content, have some fun, and fill in this dead time with more creative stuff. So it's going to be a great time, guys. Stay tuned. Again, drop some feedback on this ridiculous episode that I just did. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, and comment your thoughts down below. Hey, guys, for sure, if you are down to go see me, hang out with me at the Bizarre Music Festival, I'm going to have that link down below for you to click on. I would love to see you guys there and make that an absolute party for week 1 for the New York Giants with me and the Entertainer, talking Giants and watching a Giants game with you guys. It's going to be an absolute blast. And also, I think this t-shirt is awesome. I got to give a big shout out to our boy Danny, the graphic designer. He does the thumbnails. He does the graphics. He also does the t-shirts. He does everything. Man is a true talent, a Picasso of sports graphics design. So make sure you go check out the shirt, empiresportsmedia.com. We've got plenty of awesome designs up there for you guys, and Fireside Giants merch, and also some giveaways on the horizon as well. So appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like I said, leave your comments down below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one, and let's go, New York Giants.
Perfect.